Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about creativity, the 6th of 10 values that I'm trying to live as an adult. Although I don't claim to be an accomplished artist, I believe finding out what type of artist you are and working on your craft is one of the most human things that you can do. Today's video is broken into 3 sections: create versus consume, quantity versus quality, and proactive versus reactive. Let's get into it. The average human is a consumption machine. According to a few studies, one of which is linked below, we consume somewhere between 3 and 15 hours of media every day, with the average sitting somewhere around 6 to 7 hours per day. Even on the lower end, 6 hours per day is over 90 straight days of media consumption over the year. A lot of this is social media and streaming services, but it also includes audiobooks, podcasts, news outlets, and movies. Media consumption, probably because of the amount that we consume, is often given a bad rap. But I think for it to actually be bad, it needs a qualifier. Mindless media is a trap, it's addictive, and honestly, it's scary. Imagine a life that's split into just 3 sections. 7 to 8 hours of sleeping per day, 7 to 8 hours of working per day, and 7 to 8 hours of media consumption per day. That's a whole life. If you're working in a job you don't love and you're consuming mindlessly, then you're really not even living your own life. So let's change that. Step number 1 is to choose what you consume. This, I think, is the easiest step. Number 2, pre-pick things to watch. There's a lot of media out there, good and bad. Let's at least make an effort to watch the good things. Crowdsourcing, using critic reviews and websites like Rotten Tomatoes is a great way to reduce the amount of things that you might decide to consume. Number 3, make some really simple rules around social media consumption. For me, I use a brick and I set it at 9 p.m. every night, which means no doom scrolling in the evenings and no waking up and consuming social media first thing in the morning. Saves me tons of hours and gives me good sleep. Okay, let's circle back. I think engaging what other people have made is beautiful and it's very human. But here's where creating comes into play and makes it even better. When we create, we develop a new relationship with consumption. Let's pick a simple example like writing. When we write, we become better readers. And the opposite is true. When we read, we become better writers. You're interacting with both at a deeper level. You understand more, you become a better critic, and you even enjoy the pieces of work more because you understood what it took to create something so magnificent. This back and forth between creating and consuming is a wonderful dance. And it even makes consuming bad media worthwhile because you can see things to avoid in your own creative process. And this applies to just about everything. Want to be a better hockey fan? Try to learn how to skate. Want to appreciate the symphony more? Take a violin lesson. Or want to not be bored to death at an art museum? Try painting. Creating and consuming is a wonderful duo. Now let's talk about how to make bad art. Quantity versus quality. As a new creator, it's just important to get started. The first thing that you make will inevitably be terrible. There's nothing wrong with that. It's how we learn. So, if you take my advice in trying to create a little more and consume a little less, here are a few suggestions on how to get started. In the book Art and Fear by David Bayles and Ted Orland, we first learn about the origin of the parable of quantity versus quality. Their parable begins with a ceramics teacher that split a class into 2 groups, the quantity group and the quality group. The quality group will be graded based off the quality of their project, and they would have 30 days to create 1 pot. As you can guess, the quantity group was graded based on quantity. The more pots they made, the better potential grade they could get. Both groups had 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, there was a clear winner. Quantity won every time. And not just in the amount of things that they made, but actually the quality as well. The quality group sat around talking, theorizing, and planning for weeks and barely made 1 presentable pot. The quantity group, on the other hand, made a ton of pots many of which were terrible, but many of which were much better than the single quality pot that the quality group made. This is why it's so important to just start. Doing is the best teacher. Theory and learning can be great supplements and catalysts, but doing is king. And sometimes rules and theory can keep us from making the very best art. So let's make tons of bad art. It's really fun. You don't have to keep it, you don't have to display it, but the process alone is so much better than sitting around and thinking about the things that we could create. Our last topic is proactive versus reactive. We are a species that likes to make stuff. No other animals come remotely close. This is not going to change. So I think the question is, what side of the creative process will you be on? I think there's three options. Number one, the consumer, which we already talked about. Number two, working to create someone else's project. And number three, working to create your own project. Chances are you've had a job, and chances are you've helped to make someone else's product come to life. This is not all bad. There are many micro-creative processes along the path of any project. For example, a chef that works in someone's restaurant, I would consider an artist. Ownership alone, or even the person with the idea, isn't the only artist along the path. But here's what I'd say. Take ownership in your part. Whatever it is you do, be proactive. Don't wait to hear all the instructions and be given all the instructions. Otherwise, you've created nothing. Collaborate when you can. Put your spin on things, break rules, have fun with it, be an artist. No matter what it is that you do, I think you can be an artist. And I also suggest whenever you can, make your own projects. So I hope you get to creating. I've linked a few of my favorite books below that will help you get started or help you keep creating. And I promise we'll talk a lot more about creating around here, so hang around. Until next week.